We'll be continuing our next technical sessions on FSSA requirements, packaging, PMFME guidelines, and DPR outlooks. For the first talk, I would like to invite Ms. Tonisha Dixit, Team Leader, PMFMU Nifton Tanjavur.
Thank you, Nandini. So the scheme is actually a centrally sponsored scheme which focuses on providing the increased access to credit, and further it aims at providing support to groups like self-help farmer producer organizations and cooperatives. So basic aim is to provide formalization and hand-holding support to individual and existing micro enterprises. With that, scheme also aims at creation of common services like common infrastructure facilities like processing facilities, storage, packaging, marketing, and incubation services. So the scheme features are around one district, one product approach. So all the districts have been approved with one district, one product, and the scheme focuses on providing the support in areas, and there is an outlay of 10,000 crore under this scheme for 5 years. So basically, what are the financial benefits of the scheme? So basically, it helps in upgradation of the existing micro units, as we were discussing, with credit-linked subsidy at the rate of 35% to maximum of 10 lakh rupees, even to the group. Then additional support in terms of working capital is also extended to the extent of rupees 40,000 to the SHG members. And marketing and branding support is being provided to the group if they want to increase the branding and marketing aspects of their brand, so they can put up their applications to the state government. The pattern of assistance is given to those producing ODOP and non-ODOP posts. So support to the existing individual micro unit is also being provided. I hope now my screen is visible. So the support is being provided to micro units. So support will be given to those who are producing ODOP as well as non-ODOP products. So these new and existing individual micro units can apply under the scheme. And so the support, there is no minimum qualification or age requirement. So only 18 years and above will be there. No educational qualifications is required. Both existing as well as new enterprises can apply under the scheme for ODOP as well as non-ODOP products. And all the enterprises will be eligible for loan even if the bank loan is the seed capital of 40,000 is there for the SHG members to the SHG Federation. So basically, how to apply the scheme. So the scheme can be applied through the online portal, and applications are open for all individual and group applications. And further, the supporting documents are also available, like formats of DPR, which can help like how to prepare DPR and other documents. And similarly, marketing and branding applications can be submitted in the offline mode to the state, and the state will further be forwarding to the ministry. Now, major component of the scheme is the capacity building component. It covers food processing, entrepreneurship development, and under these is aimed to provide the know-how about technical aspects of creation of a new unit or of a new food processing unit, including machinery, food handling, packaging, product quality, safety, and the functional aspect of running a business and establishing a business, which are preparation of a DPR, establishment of a new business, what are the formalities required, different skills, and FSSAI standards, regulations, registration of a new business. So all these aspects are covered under entrepreneurship development training. So these are the various food subdomains, out of which minor forest produce is also one major food subdomain the country. And this is the scope of the training where the national level and the district level trainers are well equipped to now provide further training to the beneficiary level trainings in the physical beneficiary training. In addition to the beneficiary training, there is also a hand-holding support through district resource person. So basically, these district resource persons are empaneled by the state, and these are also given the training on DPR and various aspects of business and basic knowledge about the food processing domain as well. And basically, their role is to help the applicant. So once you are applying, so they can be as a hand-holding support in preparation of DPR till the extent that formalization of the enterprise is completed. So they are well equipped in all these areas, and they can help provide help into scheme related details. So each and every district has got one CRC, or so basically state keep on updating and recruiting these district resource persons and train them in order to provide training. So in addition to this, the district level trainers, as we discussed, so they basically have the eligibility of minimum food experience. So they are well equipped to train the applicants. So basically, the trainings to the beneficiary are being provided into two parts. The groups are trained in 8 hours duration, and individual enterprises, the credit-linked capital subsidy, they are provided 24 hours training in detailed training on EDP and food processing. There are also one more stakeholder involved in the scheme, that are the district nodal officers. These are basically mostly the officials of the government department who are involved in the governance and looking after at the district level all the application scrutiny involving all the training. These can also be contacted in case of any issues faced. So I'll quickly take you to the portal that our institute has designed for providing the support and as an extension service. So these are the training materials that are already available on our portal as part of the scheme. So basically, this is the home page of the scheme, as you can see. And under this, if you are looking at the training materials, so you can see all the food subdomains have been covered under the scheme. And in that, various products have been tried to cover, like tamarind sauce and areca that we have covered in the minus forest produce processing. So all these details are available: PowerPoint presentation, demonstration video, packaging, food safety, model DPR, and course material. So all these can be accessed publicly freely, and you just need to enter your basic details, and all the remaining things, the details will appear. So like this, you can see directly, no need to, it is freely available for the public usage. So similarly, all the materials are available. So similarly, for all other food domains also, it is available for various products, which you can see here. So all the products are there, and you can see for each and every product, all the materials are available. So that can be seen. And in addition to this, there is a ministry website on which you can see for the application. So this is the home page of the Ministry of Food Processing Industry. And here is inviting, which is inviting online application on the portal. So this is the login page, as you can see. So on this login page, you can sign up, and you can, here is all the list of contact persons under the scheme that can be contacted at the district level and state level that is available. So these can be contacted. So these are further details about the scheme. Now I will take one component of the scheme, that is the scheme. So before going further into DPR, I would like to quickly ask you about uh, the difference between the feasibility, the viability, uh, the difference between the feasibility and viability. And what I would say is they are having very close difference, very minor difference between those two. So when we are talking about the viability, we are talking about in general a business project. So when you are coming up with say honey processing, when you are coming up with tamarind sauce processing, so basically you are thinking about the capacity and you are talking about is the business that you are coming up with, is it technically viable? Is the technology available? Is the technology economic? So economic viability, financial viability, technical viability. These all are the components of the viability of a project. It has nothing to do with the type of promoter, who is the promoter. No, viability is in general about the project. Whereas feasibility has very much to do everything with the promoter. So the promoter's strength, whether he or she can take up that business. So the business can be viable. Is it viable? Is it feasible for the promoter to have? So it depends on the financial credibility, available finances, means of finances, then the technical know-how, whether the promoter and his team are equipped technically, whether you have the technology to take the business further. So comparison of the resources at discourse. So whatever resources you have with you and whatever you are thinking that will be required in that particular business. So is it mismatching to a wider gap or is it almost similar? So what is the comparison there? So when you're talking about these lines, then we are talking about the feasibility of the project. So there is a difference between viability. So in the DPR, what we are actually focusing on is the feasibility of the project. Because once the project is viable, then only you will be coming up with a business plan. So in the DPR, you are required to ascertain that your project is feasible in terms of technical aspects, market aspects, and financial aspects. So a DPR should be able, at the end of the day, the DPR should be able to explain that what all you are going to come up with and what is the problem that you are going to solve and who is your customer. So it should be very clearly understandable that there is a lack of quality product in the particular region. That's why you are coming up with this product or whatever the reason may be. So very clearly the identification of problem should be there. Then comes the proposed solution and the uniqueness of the solution. So definitely to every problem there is a solution, but then same solution, similar solution, competitors can also come up with, scalable business can also come up with, and then maybe your business might be. So you have to bring some uniqueness to the solution. You have to bring something not necessarily in the technological aspect, but other areas also, like packaging, marketing, delivery, convenience, attaining the customers. So all these things are required to be looked at. Some uniqueness should be there in your proposed project, proposed expansion plan, so that there is a sustainability and credibility that a financer can see in your project. Then the final thing is whatever you are coming up with, why the customer will actually be paying for that solution. So the customer definitely, ultimately, whatever you are doing in the project is definitely to finally create wealth and generate money. So definitely the customer should pay for the solution that you're coming up with. So why customer pay? All these questions should be very clear. And only investor, whoever to whom you are submitting the DPR, will be able to understand your project and will show some confidence in it. This in general layout of the DPR, which starts with calculation, is the very important aspect, the most critical aspect, because the entire calculation of the DPR is the solution in detail. Assumptions, you will be basically talking about the profitability. So, what will be your capacity? What are the raw materials, packing material, all these things. Then you will go to the financial aspect. So you are talking about how much plant and machinery is required, how much site development, how much money will go into all these things, detailing of all these things, and working capital. So all these cost of project related items. And then you will be evaluating based on what you calculate. Then finally, how your project is looking. Is it looking like something which is less risky, more risky? What is the kind of final evaluation that can be derived out of your project? And finally, it comes about the remaining additional details which you can support in your document. So these are the various, broadly, I have classified the components of the DPR. In detail, I'll talk about the assumption now. So when you are talking about assumptions, the first and foremost thing is you should know about the overall capacity that you are planning. So it starts with per day, how much you can keep to per cycle, and then finally per annum calculation, involving how many number of days you will not be operating. So project capacity per annum, then yearly bifurcation of the capacity. So is it 50% in the first year, second year 60%, or you will totally not be operating anything in the first year and directly you will be operating from the second year onwards. Whatever is the finalized, assumed year-wise bifurcation. Then comes the raw material. So raw material will be, so you need to understand the local and regional availability of the raw material and the current market price. Based on that, you will be finalizing the average raw material, and similarly average sale price and recovery rate. So how much the product finally will be recovered out of the raw material. So broadly, now furthermore, I will be covering onto these aspects. Like the second most important aspect is to tell about yourself and your team's strengths and weaknesses and opportunities that you have. So what your team has strength in terms of technical aspects, maybe some technology transfer you are looking at. So what all entrepreneur and management team profile is there. After that comes the market analysis. So basically, you will be talking about the total demand in general. So not necessarily the product that you are going to sell or the group of products that your product basket that you are coming up with. Not necessarily they will be sold to the mass consumers. Definitely, there will be some group of people whom you will be sending, be it kids, be it some geriatric population. So what kind of consumers you are finally targeting, or is it a business to business product, or it is a business to consumer? So what is the and what is the respective demand? So that demand estimation, local, regional, and what is the trend going on about the product type and the timing. So definitely, is it a seasonal demand or is it something related to some issues? So if you are coming up with some health product, so it is definitely related to some or other health issues, then only the health product can have some demand. So are these health issues generic? Are these health issues dependent on the season? So what is the type of demand? That is first is the requirement. Then second comes the product and its usage. So usage can be in terms of whether if you are selling to online mode, then product and its usage differs totally in a very different format, wherein you have to maintain the structure of the product, quality of the product, and packaging. And if that is going to be used directly through the retailer or maybe not further distances there, so the shelf life can be compromised to the extent that so all these requirements finalized and clearly mentioned in the area. Then coming to the customers, as we clearly defined about the segment, pricing power, premium products that we are coming up with, then such features also should be played on the product. So all these things are required to be. So basically, the market potential analysis when you are doing of your product, then all these components will be covered in this. After that comes the competitors, not necessarily the bigger companies, even smaller ones or the complementary products which can compete with your product. Those things also you are required to keep a track of. Then pricing, so the product should never be overpriced or underpriced. It really destroys your margin as well as your market. So pricing needs to be identified very carefully. And definitely promotion and distribution channels will depend on when you have finalized your product usage. So where you are going to sell. Based on that, your promotion and distribution channels you need to identify. So all these are the questions you can consider, which you are required to answer in the form of the CPR. Then we come to the technical analysis, wherein it all comes about the various processing aspects that we had been discussing today. So all the technology and equipment, what you are going to use. So basically, equipment list should appear something like this very clearly, talking about all the names of the equipment and planned capacity, quantity, mentioning the mass balance, everything, so that it is very clear of how much capacity your total plant is and how much capacity your equipment you are planning. Then comes the overall size of the building, location, requirement of the raw materials. So all these things will totally depend upon the finalized processing lines and what all equipment you are going to finalize. So these technical analysis, you are required to either have some skilled manpower with you or some team member who is well versed in the technology, or maybe the promoter himself or herself is there. So that is a must for doing this technical, or you can take a help from some technical resource person. After that comes the financial analysis. So this financial analysis will basically be catering to, so basically this will be covering the fixed assets. So your fixed assets basically cover your site development, your building, and then your equipment that we were discussing, and some infrastructure that will be required for, say for example, utilities setting up, so pipelines for steam, water, and all those things. So all these basically whatever you will require for one time till there is further expansion. So these are the fixed assets. In the working capital, so I will take some time on working capital actually. So there is a very less, we can say, awareness about calculation of working capital and involving it in the total project cost. So basically, a working capital involves inventory, which is something which is available with you in the form of a physical stock, be it a work in progress, be it raw material or finished goods. So all these things comprise of the inventory at your premises or factory. Plus, when you will be selling your products, definitely it will be on credit terms, and you will not receive entire amount immediately. So there will be some money that you owe to your customers. Means here I can say suppliers or distributors, retailers. So there is some money that you are going to get from your customers. So that is also required by you. So some that is also added. Minus, so you will be buying raw materials and packaging material, all these things from your suppliers, and definitely you owe them some money. So you are not going to pay all at once. So something will be advanced, something will be, so there will be credit terms there also. So basically you have some money which are going to pay them, that we will reduce it. So minus. So inventory plus whatever you need, you are going to pay minus. So that will be your working capital. So this working capital is very much important, and it totally depends upon type of so where you are actually putting up the project. For example, in case of PMFME, the working capital is not calculated in the total project cost. It has to be, if you want to get a support in the working capital, then you need to separately add ticket mark so that it can mention that you need working capital loan. So in other projects, or we can say, it totally depends upon the from where you are asking for the funds, or who, whatever the terms the investor is deciding. So based on that, the working capital can be adjusted into the total project cost. In general, 30% of the working capital is added in the project cost, but as I mentioned, purely depends on the terms by the financer. Then there is a preliminary and pre-operative expenses that are actually before even starting the business, you will be required, like registration, licenses, statutory compliances. All these comes with some basic minimum cost, and all these will be covered under your preliminary and pre-operative expenses. So these all actually create your one cost, that is the total project cost. And so that is very important, and that will be the highlight of your DPR that will be mentioned in the very beginning. And after that, there are sources of financing. So that you need to be very clear at the very beginning, like how much will be your own money, how much will be the back-end subsidy, how much will be the loan. So if friends and family, then how much share of that. So arranging of money is very important to be bifurcated and clearly mentioned at the initial phase itself. So once you have done all these assumptions, calculation, market analysis, answering of questions related to market feasibility, technical feasibility, all these calculations, once you have done, you have put in all the data, then you are only left with the calculation part, which you can definitely take help from any person who is good in finance. He can help you in calculation of cost of fund, cost of sale. So these are basically drag and drop of the calculation. But major concern is the assumptions that you are going to make, finalization of the capacity, what all type of lines you are going to put. So all these basically assumptions are to be done by the entrepreneur himself or herself. And so this is mostly the gist of a DPR, how it looks like. As I showed you some model DPRs we have created and uploaded on the portal product wise. So that can be used as a base material for referring to various aspects of a certain product. And you can then calculate as per your regional cost statistics and whatever quotations you're getting. So you can then customize it, but that can be used as a base material for calculation of the I hope it would have you would have gained some insight about overall structure of DPR and what are the minimum required things which and the questions which are required to be answered and about the scheme. So
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really an informative session about the DPR and PMFME scheme. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to invite Dr. R. Vidyalakshmi ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Food Safety and Quality Testing, Nittam Tanjavur, for the next technical talk on food safety and standards for processing of minor forest produce. She is an MSc in Agricultural Microbiology from Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, and PhD in Biotechnology from Shastra University, Tanjavur. Madam has joined this institute as scientist in 2004. She is an active member in Center of Excellence on Grain Sciences, contributing in grain research and its quality analysis. Madam is a life member of Association of Microbiologists of India. She is an expertise in microbial safety and quality testing of foods. Ma'am has published numerous research papers in peer-reviewed national and international journals. She is also a reviewer for reputed journals in food microbiology and food processing. We welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar.
A very good afternoon to all the participants over here. So this session will be on food safety and standards for minor forest produce. So I think from the morning we have been enlightened with what is minor forest produce. So into the minor forest product, the domestic regulation, which is from the standards authority of India, will be a mandatory requirement for any market commercialized in India. Not only that, so whenever we want to go for export as well, so it is very important, like we match the importing countries norms, as well as whenever we import some commodity into India, the FSSAI standards are very much essential. So before going into what this FSSAI standard speaks on, like the FSSAI license or the registration is more concerned on the food safety aspect of the commodity which is going to be consumed by a common public. So food safety means it is an assurance that is given to the consumer that the food is acceptable for human consumption and it is safe in all ways, that it will not impose any infection upon its consumption. Because if you see, like every year 1 in 10 people they fall ill because of a reason of eating an unsafe food. So food safety is a very, very important aspect when concerned about food. And as a consumer, he may more be concerned, like it's not my responsibility, it is the responsibility of the person who is selling the food to take care of all the quality and safety aspects. A person who is selling may say, no, it's not my concern, like I'm only preparing and selling. The one who is selling the raw material should be more concerned about it. And the person who is into the raw material commercialization, we say, they got from a producer, whatever is from the producer. So I have just marketed it. Not like that. It is a shared responsibility starting from farm to fork, starting from producer to the consumer, including government policies and so whoever is handling as a raw material, as a processed commodity, or in the point of production as well, are responsible to handle it wisely in all its ways and means to ensure that the food is safe throughout the food chain. So there are two types of infections actually, foodborne illness. One is infection, food infection we call it, and the other is food intoxication. So food infection, it will refer to the presence of a particular microorganism, a pathogenic microorganism that upon consumption which may cause a serious infection. Whereas food intoxication is as a result of ingestion of toxins which may be either organisms or they may also be produced chemically. So food infection due to the ingestion of microorganisms. And the hazards which are associated with food are of three types, like the physical hazard, chemical hazard, and biological hazard. And hazard is nothing but a condition or a contaminant in the food which may cause a serious illness upon consumption. So normally, the FSSA registration or a license is given to the food business operator to ensure that the food which is being produced and marketed by them is safe for consumption. It is free of any hazards either of physical nature, or chemical nature, or biological nature. And they ensure to the good manufacturing practices as laid down in the schedule of not only given to the quality standard. See if your product is matching to all the FSSA quality standards, but still your premises, your hygiene practices is lacking means then the registration or the license may be prone to be cancelled. So this FSSA registration or is attached with the manufacturing address which is prescribed in the application what we give because your manufacturer premises, the practices, the equipment, everything should be in accordance with the schedule as an FSSAI, which means it should adopt a good manufacturing practices, which is a direct correlation with the product quality and product standards, stating that it is safe for consumption. So, why is it important that we should adopt the food safety norms? Is first thing is this food is meant for human consumption. So it should be free from all these hazards which I just stated. So not only the food, the water which is used for processing, which is used in the manufacturing of food, should also be free from all these contaminants and hazards. And overall, the well-being, the safety, the health, the immunity of the consumer lies in safe consumption of food and quality consumption of food. So food safety will give a confidence to the consumers that the food that they buy they eat will do no harm to them and they are protected from any fraudulent practices. They are free from any food adulteration. So, food safety is a multi-discipline, it's a multi-sectoral segment, and it is a shared responsibility, as I told you, between the government, between the industry, the producer, the activity, and the consumer as well. So the general requirements on the hygiene and sanitation practices to be followed by any food business operator should either apply license or a registration is first the location of the food premises. So what the guideline of FSSA says is that a food manufacturing premises should be located in a way that it is free from any environmental pollution, any other industrial activities that have potential contaminants to enter into food, like a disagreeable odor, for example, fumes, lot of dust, pollutants, smoke, emissions from vehicles, or any other emissions coming out from nearby industries. So all these things, a pollution-free environment is first preferred. And these contaminants, they have a potential threat on contaminating the food areas prone to infestation of pests and waste. So it is also important to note that the manufacturing premises of a food articles must not have any direct access to any residential area, and the location of the establishment plays a very vital and important role, specifically in case of perishable commodities like your milk and milk products, meat and meat products, because the license given to the SBO dealing in meat and meat products, one must ensure that the establishment of linked to a meat market and it is away from any other vegetable or fish and other food products. This is to avoid the cross contamination. The layout and design of a food establishment, so the general hygienic and sanitary practices will include how the floor should be. Is it given appropriate drain slope? How does a ceiling look like? It is completely plastered, or are there any cracks on the walls? So all this should be taken care. The paints which are used on the walls also should be non-flaking. The plasters should be completely sealed. There should be adequate control measures taken to prevent any pest infestation. So, and no person should be allowed to sale of any article within the premises of the manufacturing. And there should be classification of different activities like toiletries should be separated, the sullage should be separated, storage of any other foul matter or the drain waters should be segregated. The raw material should be segregated from the finished goods. The chemicals used for any sanitary disinfection practices should be segregated away from all the other food ingredients and food materials. So likewise, the area should be segregated based on the activities. The equipment and the containers used in the manufacturing of food should be corrosion-free materials. They should be hygienically maintained. They should be appropriately cleaned. They should be disinfected properly as per the food safety and hygiene requirements. This is very, very important. The facilities such as the water supply facilities, it should be adequate, and you should have like in case if you are using some water for cleaning, water for processing as well, then you should have two different categories, and the water used in manufacturing should be of potable nature. So facilities for washing, facilities for washroom, so everything should be segregated. The water should be segregated for manufacturing and non-manufacturing process. So the food hygiene system must ensure that the food establishment is carefully designed for its required categories, especially for the procurement of raw materials. Because the raw materials is the major role in the quality and the standard of the commodity which is being processed and which is being. So the raw material should be of a good quality raw material. So it should be free from any spoilage or any contamination. The expiry or the use by date must be carefully checked for the raw material, and the temperature should be appropriately maintained for commodities, like the perishables and the other things. So for high risk food, which are the perishables mainly like your milk, meat, poultry products, fish, so they should be maintained at appropriate safe storage temperatures like your frozen temperatures until otherwise they are being used. So the time temperature control is very, very important. Like you could see here, like a danger zone is specified. So this is called as a danger zone between 40 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is called as a danger zone because the food is mostly prone to spoilage at this particular temperature between a 40 and 140. So if you're storing food in the danger zone for more than 2 hours, then your food is likely to be prone to spoilage. So you should either store it below 40 or you should hold it at temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So appropriate sanitation and maintenance of the establishment, like appropriate pest control measures should be there. So, like you can use a swab and rinse method to effectively monitor whether the sanitation practices are more effective. So, the cleaning efficiencies can be increased, and you can use some pest control devices to keep the manufacturing unit free of any pests. Coming to personal hygiene, the pandemic has taught us a lot in maintaining the personal hygiene, I hope, like. So, yet in the manufacturing system, so whoever is a food handler who is in direct contact with the food, uh, so there are certain requirements to be adopted by a food handler. So, first thing, he should be free of any illness. Suppose the food handler who is in direct contact with the food is not feeling well, so illness policy should be adopted in the industry to segregate the uh, worker who is sick. Okay, until otherwise he is recovered and he is medically fit for coming back to work to handle the food. Also, the food handler who is handling the food should have some protective covering, such as an apron, should wear a hair net so that no hair falls on the food, should have protective uh, a mask, uh, shoes, protective footwear. Okay, so all these are some essential requirements to maintain the safety and hygiene during handling the food. So, though everything is being adopted, certain cross contaminations are possible in the environment. So, the three rules of cross contamination is mainly food to food. So, you have to segregate the perishables from non perishables. You have to segregate fruits and vegetables from meat, milk, and other fish related items. Okay, you have to segregate the food based on their characterization. That is one important thing. So, hands to food. So, the hand should be more cleanly. Frequently, we should wash our hands when in contact with when we come in bare contact with the food, or you can use a protective glove. Equipment to food, when your equipment is not sanitized or disinfected properly, if it contains any detergent residues of detergents, they may be a chemical contaminant in food. In case if it contains some leftovers from the previous batch, that may be a contaminant. The equipment in food is one possible route for cross contamination. So coming to the registering and the licensing requirements, like so all food business operators in the country, they are, it is mandatory they register or obtain a license from Food Safety and Standards Regulation. So this is in accordance with the licensing and registration of food business regulation 2011. So according to this regulation, a petty food manufacturer means a food business manufacturer who manufactures or sells any article of food either by himself or by a petty retailer, a hawker, a itinerant vendor, or a temporary stall holder. So he may be one who distributes food in religious places or in any social gathering as well. And any other food business which has a annual turnover not exceeding 12 lakhs, which means a small scale or a cottage level industry. They are all called as a petty food manufacturer. And apart, it is mandatory petty food manufacturer should register themselves and obtain a registration number from the authority. So whoever is having an annual turnover exceeding 12 lakhs need to apply for a license. This license is of two categories. One is the state license and the other one is the state. So the state license is offered to who is having an annual turnover from 12 lakhs to 20 crores. And the state license is to be obtained by FPOs who have an annual turnover above 20 crores. So apart from this, there are certain other categories which are under the purview of central license, like a caterer comes under the purview of a central license. A transporter, a person who just transports commodity from one place to another place, comes under the category of central license. And those who are having units in more than a state, they are under the central license. So they're likewise And those who are having vending units or vending shops like in airports, in case of railway stations, they all need to apply for a central license. So the procedures and it all, they're on like this is for a registration certificate. Some of the essential documents required for registration is a photo ID, a government issued photo ID like a Aadhaar card or a PAN card or a voter ID, etc. And you should have a proof of address of business. As I told you, this FSSA registration or the FSSA license number is given is attached with the manufacturing address. Okay, so though you have a manufacturing unit adjacently, which is operated in two different buildings, for example, even in the same place, if they are businesses run in two different buildings, adjacently, maybe even adjacently, you have to take two licenses. You cannot use the same FSSA number for both the units. Okay. So, but instead you are having two units within the same premises, then it is possible like you can use the same license in the one manufacturing address. So, the proof of address is very mandatory requirement, and there is a website which is called of FSSAI, which is called as POSCOS. So now the process has become online, so you can just log into this website and you can click on the registration, apply for registration certificate tab, and it will guide you through. So you have to register first before applying and get a valid email ID and mobile number. So this user ID can be used for any purpose, like it can be used for renewal, it can be used for adding more commodities to it, for any other modification. So one-time registration this is. So after registering, you have to fill out the application. The required tabs needs to be filled out, and the documents need to be uploaded, and you submit your application. So license is also a similar process, but you will have additional information in the form, and you have to upload some more additional documents like the layout of your processing unit, the list of and equipment, and the load thereon. Analysis report, a chemical and bacteriological analysis report that stating that your water is of potable nature. Whenever you use water as a ingredient or it is used for as used in the manufacturing of that particular commodity, they upload the unit production unit photograph, a valid ID proof, a government issued ID proof, the manufacturing addresses proof, like the possession of the premises, any other self-declaration or any memorandum or articles of associated with your business or proprietorship, and the nominations of the person. So these are all some of the additional requirements. So while filling in the form, so you will have a separate tab which is coming on kind of business, KOB. If you have different production units in different states, you can declare one of your unit in one of the states to be as your head office. So you have to declare your head office. Then kind of business. So kind of business means like either are you a processor, or are you a repacker, or you're just a labeler, or are you a distributor, are you a retailer? So what is the kind of business you are involved in? So it should be specified. It can be more than one also. You can be the manufacturer, you can be the retailer as well. Okay, so it can be more than one, but you need to specify what kind of business you are going to perform in the manufacturing address which is given by you. And like in Form A for registration, whatever you have filled out, likewise you have to fill out the other details in Form B. So after the kind of business, like both in Form A and Form B, you have to include what are all the commodities which you are going to include in your business, right? What type of products you are going to sell, or what type of products you are going to manufacture. Okay, so you have to specify the or give the list of products which you wanted to market, and if you submit, so it will be processed. Your application will be processed. Normally, for registration is 30 days the processing time. So license may take a few more days. So in either of the case, it is mandatory in case of license, but it is voluntary in case of registration. But in both the cases, if at all a food safety officer or your license issuing authority, if they feel like they need to inspect your premises, so a food safety officer will come for inspection, a food inspector will come for inspection of your premises to see that it is in accordance with the regulation. So if at all there is any default, you will be given a specified time limit to adopt to address the default and to submit the required evidence for non-conformity. Corrective actions have been taken. So, and after which your license or a registration number will be issued. So this is the FOSCOS website. You can see there are different tabs. You can click on those tabs. The required fees is also prescribed over here. If at all you have any doubt on your product commodity, I don't know where my product falls in under which category it falls, you can just go in, you can key in your product name and look for the standardized product. So standardized product, you can find out under which your commodity falls. So this is the structure of the FSSAI license number. So it is a 17-digit number. So the first digit represents a registration, either it is a registration or it is a license. The following two digits denotes your state code. The other two digits denotes the year of enrollment of business. And the following three digits will denote the quantity of the enrolling master. So who is your issuing authority? So it is your FPO number. But not likely that you should only end off the last six digits, but all the starting from the digit 1 to your last digit, it should be completely written in this format. So FSSAI under NIT. If it is a license, it is given as FSSL. If it is a registration, it is given as FSSL. So following this alphabet, so these 17 digits should be printed. So in the manner which is issued to you. It is a mandatory requirement that this should be printed on the label. So coming to the standards and the safety regulations, the food safety and standards regulations, there's a lot of regulations. So whatever I told you till now on the licensing and the registration, so there's a lot of regulations which have come up. So we are more concerned as of today on the product regulation. And regulation of 2011. So all these regulations are freely downloadable. It is available in the FSSAI site. So for more deeper insights and for more detailed information, like you can just log into go and browse this web and you can do your requirements for the different standards. So coming to the topic of the day, like the minor forest produce, there are a list of minor forest produce, a few of which is specified in the regulation, like so one is mahua. So generally mahua oil is covered under the regulation. So this is covered under 2.2. Okay, this is FSSR 2011 2.2 regulation, which is coming under the category of fats, oils, and fat emulsion. So under this category of fats, oils, and fat emulsion, the fifth commodity is our mahua oil. So according to the FSSAI regulation, mahua oil means the oil which is expressed from the clean and sound seeds or nuts of mahua, and it should be clear and it shall be free from any rancidity or any suspended or other foreign matter, separated water, added coloring, any added flavoring substances, and also it should be free from mineral oil. So the mahua oil should be refined, and the oil so refined shall not contain hexane more than 5 ppm. Some of the other attributes, which means the other standards related to mahua oil, is the refractometer reading at 40 degrees should be fall within a range of 49.5 to 52.7, and the refractive index at 40 degrees should be within the stipulated range of 1.4590 to 1. saponification value should be between 187 to 196, the iodine value between 58 to 70, and unsaponifiable matter not more than 2%. The acid value also not more than 0.5%. And the mahua oil should be free from argemone oil. So this is the standard given for mahua oil. And likewise, we have the refined salseed fat as well. So salseed is also one of the myoforic solids, and from good seed kernels of the uh, fat, and it should be clear from melting, and it should be free from chemicals like suspended foreign matter, separated water, or any other added coloring activity. There should be no turbidity after keeping the filter sample at 40 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. It should be more clear, free from any suspended solid. And likewise, for any other oil, the test for argemone should be negative. And some of the other standards for salseed fat is the moisture not more than 0.1%. Likewise, for any oil, the other oil related parameters should be within this specified limit. So apart from this, you have the flash point here. Flash point of this fat, the salty fat should not be less than 250 degree, and this 9:10 epoxy and 9:10 dihydroxystearic acid. Uh, this should not be more than 3% by weight. These are some of the added specifications attached to the salty fat. So the salty fat should definitely be refined. It's not used as crude oil or crude fat. It's not permitted to be used. So we have another commodity which is tamarind, one of the commodities. So this comes under the fruits and vegetables. So the regulation number is 2.3. And the 18th product is our tamarind pulp or puree and concentrate. So this tamarind pulp or puree, it should be prepared by boiling and by sieving this tamarind extract. Okay. So, and it should free from any adulteration and extraneous matter. And the minimum total soluble solid can be around 32% in case of a tamarind pulp or puree, and in case of a tamarind concentrate is one where water is being evaporated. So here the TSS should be C5%, a minimum requirement of 65%. Likewise, the acidity for pulp and puree is 4.5 minimum and 9.0 minimum for tamarind concentrate. And you have ash insoluble, so 0.4 for pulp and 0.8 at the maximum for in case of tamarind concentrate. So the permitted food additives for usage in making of this tamarind pulp or concentrate is like either benzoic acid in the form of either sodium or like a sodium benzoate or potassium salt. Anything in any formation of salt, either sodium or potassium, can be used up to a maximum of 750 ppm. So some of the other major commodity under minor forest produce is about honey. So honey is coming under the sweetening agents 0.8, and the third product under 2.8 is honey. And so when visually inspected, the honey should be free from any foreign matter like any mold or any dirt, some even pieces of leaves, wax, or any fragments of leaves or other insects, and any other extraneous matter which should be free from any other extraneous. Color of the honey should vary from a light to dark brown, and the freeze test is the important test, and it should be positive in case of true honey. And the HMP, the hydroxymethylfuran. So this is also one of the standard in case of honey. So HMS content, if it is more than 80 milligrams, it is positive, and the HMS content is more than 80 milligrams per kg, then the fructose glucose ratio should be 1 or more. This is one important criteria to specify whether your honey is added with any other sugar material. So the other quality standards include the specific gravity, the very important quality parameter. In case of honey, it should not be less than 1.35. The moisture not more than 25%, and total reducing sugar not less than 65%. So the sucrose and the fructose glucose ratio, it should not be less than 0.95. These are all some of the important tests in case of honey. So based on these tests, we can also see like tested, and it should be negative when tested for food. So this was concerned with the quality standards of the minor forest produce. And so at NIFTM T, at NIFTM Tanjore, we have an NABL accredited and federal laboratory which offers high equipment and all the major facilities for testing all of the food commodities. So any food business standards, and any guidance for registering, licensing, and FSSA will also be sorted from our institute. So this is our testing brochure. This is available at Thank you so much for this opportunity and this session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a detailed presentation on food safety standards and licensing procedure. Now we'll move on to the next technical session. For this, I'd like to invite Ms. Pragati Gokhale, Advisor, Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Government of Maharashtra. Ma'am is the founder of Market Mirchi and Chief Member of Market. Ma'am was honored with Global Women of Worth Award by the World Women's Leadership Congress among the 50 talented women around the world. Ma'am is a retired principal scientist of the Ministry of PMFME, Government of India, and is currently working as an advisor to the Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission.
Good afternoon to all. I came to know that here there is a mixed audience from students to farmers and agro startups and PMFME startups. So I will be speaking on our mission, that is Mission Mera Mobile Mera Marketing via Market Mirchi. As all of you are well aware that agro and rural sector faces a problem of direct market linkages because of their remote locations. Because all the agro products produce farm products, herbal products, bamboo products, handloom, handicraft, even agro processed products like food products, all are in continuous demand in urban area. But they have to travel through a long supply chain because there is no direct market linkage, B2B linkage, I am meaning here, not B2C, for all these products because of their remote locations. And when I came to know about this problem, because in my previous job where I was working as a principal scientist for Ministry of MSME and particularly for rural entrepreneurship, then most of the rural entrepreneurs were telling me this problem. So as a solution to this problem, because I myself am a IT professional, I developed Market Mirchi. Now Market Mirchi is a mobile friendly website as well as it is an app. So please don't confuse the name Mirchi with the meaning that only Mirchi is marketed here. Market Mirchi is a symbolic name we have kept, and it has a meaning that it is a bottom up approach in rural marketing in India. If you go for a bookish definition of rural marketing, you will find that rural marketing means in MBA books and all, the selling of surplus products in urban India to the rural India. वो कार रहे, वो computers रहे, anything. So Market Mirchi has changed the definition of rural marketing, where Mera Kisan, Mera FPO, my SHGs, my agro and rural entrepreneurs are selling their products to urban India. So how and that was developed in around 9 years back. And in 2018, I retired from the ministry. And now Market Mirchi has taken as a project by IIT Rural Technology Action Group, which is an initiative under Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India. So, Market Mirchi has a basic theme, Mission My Mobile, My Marketing. Means making all these rural entrepreneurs, agro startups, farmers, FPOs, self-help groups, Atmanirbhar for their own marketing using their mobiles, using their smartphones. As we all know, under digital India, there is a good network connectivity in all remote parts of India. And now we will find every family in rural India is having at least one smartphone, and which is mostly in the hands of a youngster in the that home. So, how our mission Mera Mobile Mera Marketing works? Our mission has three components. First is, of course, our Market Mirchi app or website. Market Mirchi has three sections: sale, buy, and jobs. Under sale and buy, you will find total 26 categories: animal husbandry, dairy, grains, pulses, vegetables, agro processing, rural products. Even National Bamboo Mission has introduced the category for bamboo, forestry, and herbal products, what you call NTFP. Then National Biomass Mission has introduced category of Market Mirchi for biomass and biofuel. So all the categories in rural India where mostly selling and buying takes place are included in Market Mirchi under these 26 categories, and under which there are a number of subcategories. So sale and buy happens on in this category. There is a job section also, and it is here you will find only jobs in agriculture and rural sector. Why? Because Market Mirchi पूरे ग्रामीण भारत को समर्पित अभियान है. So, why Market Mirchi is so much popular? Because it is, of course, multilingual. You can change the language at the left hand or right hand corner. We have given the facility, but it is very, very simple to use. Any farmer, any SHG, not so learned, can post his ad in 2 minutes on Market Mirchi and get market linkages within next 5 minutes. तो ये सारा 2 मिनट वाला मामला है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज मच पॉपुलर इन रिमोट पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया. And another reason for popularity is it is absolutely free. We are not charging anything from anybody, as it is a social mission. Initially, it was funded by me, and now IIT Roorkee is taking care of its hosting and WhatsApp SMS charges. So how Market Mirchi works? When you download an app, you will see sell, buy, and job section. By default, you are in the sell section. When you click on the post free sales ad, we show you the category to choose. You choose category, you post the ad for the products you want to sell, and at the end of this process, you have to register yourself. Don't ask our users to fill lamba forms. So 2 minutes are able to do the registration and everything. Hello? Hello? नहीं मैं स्क्रीन नहीं शेयर कर रही हूँ. You have to share the video. I will just finish in 5 minutes and you will show the video. Okay? Okay. So I'm not sharing any screen because I want to maintain the flow, and immediately after I will stop talking. Sir will share the video where it is explained very nicely how you can use Market Mirchi for your free online direct marketing. So this is the first part. You as soon as you post ad, you get a WhatsApp and SMS, and immediately we show you also the call list of the buyers. You have to call them. You have to increase your market linkages, and that will help you to get more market linkages. And that model we call as active rank. It is a unique model by which you can post as many ads as you wanted for all the agro and rural products, and you can get as many market linkages as you want, just if you increase your active rank by actively calling people. So calling people means your buyers. Okay. So this is the first part of our mission. Second part is creating backend linkages. Means this app is very good. It is user friendly. It is free to use. But we should know. We should tell about it. We should disseminate it through the rural stakeholders. And that is why IIT under Sitara project has developed videos in every Indian language on how to use Market Mirchi effectively, how to increase active rank, and how to get market linkages. These videos are disseminated through NABARD, and through NRLM, through ICR institutions, through KVKs, and many agriculture departments, pan India. Recently, Coal India has given us a project of teaching Market Mirchi in remote parts of India where Coal India is working in 60 districts. We completed Jharkhand, Bastar, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and we had a huge response from the villagers after those trainings. Just I would like to share with you, after our trainings in Jharkhand, the Mahila Kisan, women farmers there, who were not so literate at all, had posted their ads and were successful to find buyers for their mustard in the rate which was higher than 5,000 rupees per ton in the and the rate which they were getting in Jharkhand. This happened because they understood the power of digital marketing, how they can market their products to all India. Because in Jharkhand, when they were locally marketing, they were getting the same nexus of brokers. Because of advertisement on Market Mirchi, they want to sell bulk mustard that was shown all India, and they were able to crack that deal. So this is the second part, that is capacity building training programs all over India, online or offline. Third part is also important. You must be thinking how we are able to show the buyers list for every ad, or how we are able to show buyers the sellers list with active. For that, we are also leveraging technology under our IIT project. We have used artificial intelligence, data mining, and with that, we are able to fetch many B2B buyers on Market Mirchi. Now there are more buyers than sellers in some categories of Market Mirchi. So this is all about our mission, Mera Mobile, Mera Marketing. And recently, Niti Aayog has asked me for giving the details of Market Mirchi for including in their compendium to be published on Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Download Market Mirchi app. My contact number is given there, so you can anytime call me or WhatsApp me.
We'll move on to the next technical talk on packaging of value-added minor forest products. For this session, we have with us Dr. S. Anandakumar sir, Assistant Professor and Head, Food Packaging System Development, Nettam, Tanjavur. Sir has obtained his doctoral degree in Food and Agriculture Process Engineering from Agricultural Engineering College and Research Institute, TNAU, Coimbatore. Sir has designed and developed small-scale equipment like continuous type counter current, format dryer, solar pack bed dryer, rotary washer, and solar desalination system. Sir has published over 30 papers in national and international journals and proceedings of national and international conference. We welcome you, sir.
So thank you very much for nice introductions. Good evening, participants. So this lecture will see packaging and labeling for minor forest produce. So you know that the importance of minor forest produce, particularly from morning you are attending many sessions. So there are many products are available, even that indigenous technology still they are using it. So it has to be commercialized, it has to be industrialized, and it has to be given to many peoples. And there are many opportunities in the processing and the marketing of this minor forest produce. So in these sessions, we can see what are all the packaging standards and the labeling methods which is used in the food application. And when we take some case studies of this minor forest produce, what are all the factors which will affect the quality of the product during the storage period? What are all the possibility in methods of preservation, particularly in terms of packaging material that we can discuss. packaging, when we say it's a kind of unit operations, and whenever you take any product, the packaging, which will be the last unit operations, the processing center. But when we see the consumer point of view, when you go to the market, people will select the product by seeing the appearance of the packaging material. And some people will see any offers are given in the product. For example, buy one, get one. Otherwise, if you see some people's, they will select the product based on the nutritive value, health condition. Even some people, they will say it's organic. Okay, or sometimes if it is some chemical preservatives added. So those things they will verify, and then they can purchase the material. Some people they will see the cost of the material. Then if it is affordable, they will buy. Otherwise, they will go for some other product. So in such a case, why I am telling. So the what are the product you are making? If you want to if you want to attract the consumers, okay. So those things you can give it the free advertisements, or you can attract the people by giving a good design or shape of the packaging material only. So in such a case, that packaging is one of the major component when you sell the product in the market. And nowadays, if you see, whenever you are selecting the packaging material for any product, so one is your packaging material, it has to match with your product, because as you know that we are using different kinds of packaging material. And whenever we say the food, they will say it is a food grade packaging material. Food grade packaging. What is that food grade packaging material? Okay. Because always the materials what we are using, sometimes our food items, it can be acid based or alkali based, and because all are biological biochemical components only. And when it reacts with the packaging material, and there may be a chemical interaction taking place between the molecules, and that makes the quality changes or the degradation of components. For example, these bioactive components or chemical changes in the brown index or oxidation, whatever it may be. So in such a case, the packaging material, what you are selecting for the food items, it has to protect your food items from different environmental factors, and apart from that, it should not create any issue with the food quality. That is one thing. So in such a case, we are what are the packaging material we are producing? In that we are the packaging material we are using in different applications. Automobile industry, we are using packaging materials. Okay, and other pharmaceutical industry, we are using it. Cosmetic items, we are using the packaging material. So when we say that food grade packaging materials, so there is a BA standards are there, the FSSAI guidelines are there. So as per the norms and the standards, we are selecting that particular packaging material for food applications. And another thing, nowadays many people they are talking about the sustainable packaging. And many industries they are minimizing the usage of plastics in the food applications also. For example, if you see what is the plastics we are producing in our country, in that 40 to 40 only. Even you might be seen in some or all the confectionery bottles, plastic bed bottles, we have that ROPP, okay, roll on flare proof caps. Okay, we have to thread it. But nowadays it is not like that. The closure size also they reduced it, so you can push, otherwise push. You can press and peel out like that. The without thread, the closures are coming. So like that, many the reduction in the packaging material. Even if you see in some of the area, some reduction in the packaging material. If you see in foreign countries, now if you buy the toothpaste, okay, if you buy the toothpaste, for example, any company, Pepsodent or Colgate, So you are having the primary packaging material. Okay, the tube will be there. Then it is packed in a paper material will be there, secondary packaging. Then you have the packaging. The question is coming, why you want the card? Okay, it is already in the tube, so directly you can bulk packaging. You can sell the product. So now the company, they are thinking how in what way we can minimize the packaging material so that the cost of the product it has to be matched with your company. Okay, it has to be synchronized with the machinery for bulk productions or continuous printing or continuous forming. Everything it has to be there. So these are all some requirements of that packaging material nowadays. Here you can see that primary, secondary, and tertiary, these are all very basics. So whenever you select the packaging materials, okay, you see where it is applied, for what purpose we are using. For example, if it is a secondary and transit means there is a standards are available standards. Okay, and the requirement of the strength, for example, that the compression strength or inclined impression strength. Okay, always the drop testing. Many things they will do it for individual parameters. So in such a case, you can select the packaging material according to the usage of your product and the transport purpose. In general, we are using these four types of packaging materials. One is the glass bottle, plastics, metals, and cartons. So each packaging materials, it has unique features. It has some advantages. It has the limitations also. So in such a case, if you see the glass bottles, it is good for retaining the quality of the product. Okay, and also if you see that aesthetic material, and also you can have the picture of the product without any chemical changes. And also if you see the melting temperature of the glass is almost about 1300 degree or 1500 degree centigrade. So you can go for thermal treatment also along with the packed conditions. But if you see the disadvantages, the cost of the packaging material is high, the empty weight of the container is high. Okay, and any mishandling, the material will leakage very easily. And also if you see, the empty container will occupy larger space in the storage godown. So these are all the things, we have some limitations. And also it is mainly used in food applications. In many of the products we are using it. And also if you see the recycling, it is very easy. You can go for a number of time recycling. Another thing, we have the plastic materials. Okay, it is less in weight. The cost also very less. Okay, and it has more flexibility, and you can form any shapes for your product. Okay, so these are all some advantages. Only the disadvantages, that environmental issues. That environmental issue. Even nowadays, the recycled plastic materials are used in different other engineering applications also. Then metal containers, we are using 2-piece cans or 3-piece cans. Either it can be tin containers or electrolytic chromium coated containers or aluminum cans, we are using it. And this is also highly used in different food application, particularly when we talk about thermal heat treated product, otherwise thermal sterilization product. So in such a case, that metal cans are used. And another thing, cartons, so that paper and corrugated boards. So now if you take the global packaging industries, particularly in the food application, 60% of the packaging materials what we are using is the paper and paper based material only. So here also the virgin pulp is there, the fresh paper which will be used for direct usage of the packing of food items, and the recycled papers are used in the packaging of particularly used in the secondary packaging or transit packaging transport purpose. And apart from that, this poor packaging material by combination of, for example, the plastic will contact with the paper, so you can see the paper with the liner of plastics. The packaging materials are there, and metallized films are there. Okay, metal and plastic will be joined together. Okay, so and glass and outer layer will be the plastics. So like that combination of the individual packaging materials also it can be made to improve the strength barrier properties of the packaging material to support the extension of the package the packed products during the storage period. So here in short, we can say the plastics, okay, we are using in larger quantity, particularly in the food applications, food packaging. So these plastics, it is produced in the industry by either we are using the flexible packaging material like this. The pouches are there, okay. The Ziploc covers are there, okay. Otherwise, if you can see this type of perforated films are coming when we store these fruits and vegetables or cut vegetables or flowers or any respiratory commodity. So we are using these perforated bags. So these bags will retain the gases and the excess gases which will be taken away from these holes, okay, micro holes. Then your product can be stored in the cold storage conditions, so the freshness it can be maintained. So this type of covers are coming in the market. So these flexible films which is produced in the industry either by axial blown method or casting method, okay. So in industrial scale up we are using this axial blown method. Okay, and there are a continuous process. They are using this casting method of film production systems also. And another thing we have that rigid packaging materials. So that cups, trays, okay, and the distribution trays. Okay, and during transportations, if you want to avoid the mechanical damages, instead of high density paper pulp material, with this type of what we can say the punner type of boxes or blister packaging materials are used for packing of high value commodity. Mechanical damages can be controlled. So the plastics what we are using in the food application, there are sound plastics we are using it. One is that PET bottle. Okay, so most of the carbonated beverages. Okay, so we are using it, and water bottle, oil can. It is also used PET bottles. Then we are using a high density polyethylene. So okay, we are using that high density polyethylene. Then we are using polyvinyl chloride. Many of the pharmaceutical product blister packaging materials. Okay, this is the technology blister packaging. We are using that polyvinyl chloride and a low density polyethylene making this type of carry bags. Okay, single use plastic. They are using it. This is a low density polyethylene. Even that milk packet it is made by LDP or LLDP. Then PP we have this polypropylene cups, particularly to make these ice cream cups. Okay, or curd cups. For that we are using that polypropylene. Then polystyrene we have this polystyrene foamed material or expanded polystyrene materials mainly used for making some cushioning materials during transportation. Otherwise, the what we can say the net materials which will cover the fruits and vegetables, which will give the cushioning impact during transportation. Otherwise, this type of cups we can make juice cups or tea cups by using this polystyrene material. Then we have that number 7. Okay, it is a combination of 2-3 plastics monomers. By improving the strength and barrier properties, we can safeguard our product. And the majority of the food applications, so these number 7 packets are highly used in the food applications. So this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these major plastics, what we are using it, it is the numbers, it is denoted to support the recycling plant, because after usage the plastics we are throwing away. So the people, either the government, municipality, or the plastics according to the numbers, they will segregate it and they will send to the recycling plant, because that polyethylene terephthalate melting point or glass temperature is different than the polyethylene or segregated, so it is easy for us to produce the recycled plastic materials. Here the only thing is that number 7, okay, because it is a mixture of 2-3 plastics. So in such a case, the recycling of number 7 will be the challenging task. So normally this type of material will be taken to the industries. It will be incinerated and the energy will be used for some other purpose. Okay, so like that, recycling plants are operating in our country. Then we have some technology that vacuum packaging. So whenever you are modifying the gas, composition around the packaging materials, so you will extend the life of the commodity. So here, as I told you, here you will have the bamboo shoot, or you can have that areca nut, or even you can have some what we can say tamarind. It is there. The commodity of the minor forest. Okay, the fresh commodity, you want to pack it and preserve it for some extra. Machine cost is start from 1.25 lakhs. The industrial operation stage, small scale. Even if it is a household, 4,500 rupees. A small packet you can make it out by using that machine. So vacuum packaging machine available. So remove the air from the packet and it will make a hermetic. What will happen? We are removing the oxygen from the packet so that your product, which can be which will not have any chemical reactions. And what is the material you are selecting? So it should have a high barrier for oxygen, so it should not allow any gases to permeate through the packaging material. Okay, so due to that, you can extend the life of the product. Now you can see the green peas, tamarind, okay, and other dried products, mango, everything nowadays it is packed in a vacuum packaging method. And normally these type of materials, they may use polyethylene, polypropylene, or what we can say that nylon, polyamide materials are having very good stretchable property. So that type of things, it can be used in the packing purpose. Then we have modified atmosphere packaging. In that we are removing the air from the packet and we are flushing the known gases with the particular ranges, so that we are controlling the microorganisms, we are controlling the fungal attack, we are controlling the browning reactions. So all these things can be done by using this modified atmosphere packaging. So here we have three types of technologies. One is form field sealing machine. So here you can see then the kurkure and the lace chips packet. Okay, so here inside nitrogen gas will be there. So whenever you are going for packing of what we can say the snacks foods, okay, oil fried fruits, you can flush the nitrogen gas. And another thing, you have the chamber machine. So this is called chamber machine. So whenever you go for packing of, for example, fresh cut vegetables, or that fish, or the minced meat, okay, vacuum packed meat, okay, so those things they will use these chamber machines. So there will be a tray or plates, and over that the plastic films will be kept. By creating the vacuum, okay, you can have that modified packaging packed material. Otherwise, you can keep the tray and you can flush the known gases. For example, 40% carbon dioxide and 50% nitrogen, remaining 10% oxygen. So like that also you can modify the gas composition. So that is called chamber mission. Then we have smooth machines. The long needle will be there. Some cleaner. The needle will be inserted into the pouch. Then the air will be removed out. Then the sealing can be done. So particularly if you take a mango or G9 banana, okay, this type of commodity in a bulk 15 kg or 10 kg, when you want to pack it in a containers, so this type of techniques are used. Another thing, you have this snacks foods. As I told you, normally the snacks foods, when it is oil fried, okay, it can be readily react with our atmosphere oxygen, so that will form the rancidity. Okay, sometimes the color degradation will be there, the flavor changes will come. So in such a case, always you can't control all the changes by selecting a monomer material. So always whenever you go for this type of snacks food items made by this forest to produce, so you have to go for this multi-layer material. Okay, either biaxially oriented polypropylene with LDP, or three layers biaxially oriented polypropylene with the middle layer polyester and inner layer LDP. Okay, so like that combination you can take according to the shelf life of your product. So all these things, it is depending on the moisture barrier properties, and as well as that gas barrier properties. So in such a case, that is very important when you select the packaging materials for this type of products. And nowadays you can see in the market also, So this type of composite containers are coming in the market. Okay, so here if you see, it is made by the paper, and the lid is made by the plastics, and the bottom will be made by the metal. Okay, like that composite containers also will be coming in the market. So this type of things, initially it was in plastics. Now they are minimizing the usage of plastics in this type of containers. Otherwise, you can have this type of metallized film, which will retain the gases, and sometimes it will, what we can say, having the more barrier for moisture also, because sometimes when you buy chips packet from the market, when you open it, okay, so the gas will be retained, but if you eat it, then you will feel it will become soft. It is not a crispy one. So which means the packaging material which is retaining the gases, but it is poor in retaining the moisture. Moisture in the sense it is allowing the moisture to enter. So in such a case, whenever you select the packaging materials, so this type of food items are where the what we can say, the moisture content is very very low. So it will try to absorb the moisture in the nature of hygroscopy. So in such a case, you have to select the packaging materials accordingly, which has barrier and more barrier properties, particularly for the gases and the moisture. Paper we have. These are all the types of paper: craft, sulfate paper, wax, greaseproof, and parchment paper. Mainly for food applications, if the food has the oil, so then we can select this parchment, wax, and greaseproof paper. Otherwise, normal packaging, we can use this craft and sulfate paper. All the production methodology will be differ one with another, and each one will have that unique advantages and application side also, particularly in the food area. Then we have these corrugated fiberboard boxes. Particularly these corrugated fiberboard boxes we are producing from the recycled paper materials. Okay, so these materials are used in the secondary packaging application. Particularly if you see that the pulp board will be used for keeping the fruits or vegetables. Okay, you can see this type of the tray form. Okay, panel board. It is available for the mangoes or tomatoes. Okay, you can be packing this condition. Otherwise, you can see the packaging materials which will have the partitions. So if the commodity is having more value, for example, this organic tomatoes and other things, so the cost of the tomatoes per kg is 200 rupees. So in such a case, this type of materials, packaging materials, individual packaging, for example, packaging individual tomatoes packed in pakka manner. So even if anything damages come, that will not affect the quality of the other product. So this is another thing. Then glass packaging is there. Okay, so glass, as I told you, net materials. So normally, if you see the glass, it is produced in the industry by either blow and blow method or is the press and blow method. So normally the glass bottles we have, one is what we can say that a narrow mouth bottle. So that can be used for juices, okay, and beverages we can pack it. And if you see that wider mouth bottle, it is used for packing of that jam, jelly, whiskers, particularly in our minor forest, the honey is packed in this type of wider mouth containers. And these glass bottles are having different colors. So some of the transparent glasses which will absorb that UV light, which will allow the UV light to enter and make the color changes. So sometimes brown glass are used. So it is made by adding iron oxide at the time of production of the glass bottles in the silica and alumina. So along with that, they will add iron oxide. So they will get this colored glass bottle. So these colored bottles which will have that UV protections, so that any biochemical changes will not be taking place. Then other packaging material what we are using is here that metal containers. So these metal containers are available in 2-piece cans or 3-piece cans. Okay, even nowadays it is coming in a pouch model. So this type of materials are used in the thermal process. Okay, and this type of food items or food materials, it can be kept in the normal atmosphere. It doesn't require any refrigerator condition. The life of your product also very long, 6 months or 1 year, you can keep the product. And whenever you want to set the canning industry, so these are all the basic equipment you have to purchase, particularly in the PMFME scheme. When you set that canning industry, so for example, if you have some 15 to 20 lakhs. Okay, then you can set one canning industries. Okay, per batch you can have some 50 to 75 cans processed food items. Okay, so like that you can also plan some of the area in the canning in canned food items. So that also will have a lot of scopes, particularly for this minor forest produce, because some of the things are uh, based on the climate and based on the cultivation practices. Yearly once it can be some of the commodity will be cultivated. So those things, if you want to extend the life, then canning will be the one good option. So it has the can body reformer, plunger, double steamer, okay, embossing unit and exhaust unit. So these are all the different unit operations involved in the canning. So you can use this type of machineries, and all these machineries according to the capacity which will be varying. So normally if you see it is starting from some 45,000 or 60,000, it can go up to some 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs, okay, maximum. This type of equipments are used, and another technology it is aerosol packaging. Okay, so nowadays these ready to eat, ready to cook products are highly demanded in our market. So sometimes when you have some products, it is in the form of cream or foam. It is used that minor forest produced. Then you can use this aerosol technology. So here we have that propellant. Otherwise, you have the actuators and what we can say that the compressed gas. Otherwise, they will call it as a propellant. So these things which can be taken into the containers. So for each press, you will get the known quantity of the material. So either it can or powder. Okay, it can be delivered by using this aerosol technology. It is also available in the market. So particularly if you see that minor forest produce, for example, if you take the chili, something green chili or red chili. Okay, so these type of things it is available in powder form. So in aerosol packaging, okay, when you prepare a soup and other things, so when you spray, it can be added into the soup mix or whatever it may be. So like that, in both the dusting method or is by using this foaming method, anything you can have the delivery mechanisms. Then we have that form fill sealing machines or paste filling machines, so particularly the high viscous materials, okay, tamarind paste, or if you see the honey. Okay, so in such a case, if you want to fill into the pouches, then you can select this type of paste filling machine or with the viscous filling material. Then you have that different types of sealing machines. Band sealer is there, induction sealer is there, impulse sealer is there. Okay, otherwise, if it's a powdered material granule, then you can go for this form fill, vertical form fill sealing machines. Okay, otherwise, another thing that's paper board. They have that spout pack filling machineries. Okay, that is a unique design. So this type of things also you can use it for commercializing of your product. Then for the powders and granules, we have that form fill sealing machines. One is that auger filling method, there the screw will be there, and another one is cup filling method where the individual cups will fill the product into the pouches. Okay, so these two methods are we are using it. Then we have liquid filling machines. Okay, the vacuum filling machines are there, continuous vacuum filling machine, spout pack filling machines, and the cap closures. These are all the major machines are used in the beverage industries, and particularly for the liquids, it is used. Then we have that bottle closures. There are different types of closures we are using. Either it can be a metal plates, it can be made by metal plates, plastics, or it can be made by what we can say the what we can say a composite material, plastic with cardboard. Otherwise, you can see this type of induction sealing. So that is sealing papers. If you have, it has the three layers. Okay, outer layer will be the aluminum with the LDP, and we have that paper. Then inner we have the for example some LDP materials. Okay, so like this composite materials are also used in the sealing purpose. Then another technology that is coming in the market is hermetic sealing. So this hermetic sealing, there are some plastic packaging materials which will not allow the atmospheric oxygen to get enter into the grind. So it is having more oxygen barrier. So this type of what we can say hermetic bags also coming in the market. Any food grains or any millets, okay, these grains, if you want to protect the material from the insides, when you pack with this type of hermetic bags, then the life can be extended. Then we have the another technology, Tetra Pak. So when we say the Tetra Pak, it has minimum 6 layers or more than 6 layers. It has the packing system has the layers. So each layers will have unique importance or is that usages. So here, if you see particularly, we are using that polyethylene paper board. We can use aluminum foil, otherwise you can use that polyethylene as the inner layer. So by combining all these things, okay, so we can make this type of Tetra Packs, and this Tetra Pak, the weight of the Tetra Pak also very less, and also you can take it for the recycling plant. Okay, and it can be stored in the open atmosphere or it can be stored in the refrigerated condition. So in many advantages are there nowadays. The spout, what we can say, Tetra packing with the closures are coming in the market. So initially you will have the straw over stick on to the packaging material, but process are there. So this is called ready to drink and this is called ready to serve. Tetra packed coconut milk or coconut water or what we can say the juice items. Okay, so all these things can be made by this Tetra Pak. Then we have shrink wrapping. So normally the finished product, okay, finally in the industry, okay, they will have two machines. One is called shrink wrapping and another one is called stretch wrapping. Okay, so the final product when we make it as a unit pack, okay, so in such a case to cover it this material, okay, so either it can be made with polyethylene or polypropylene or copolymer of ethylene vinyl acetate. So this cover will be kept over the collected materials. When it is passed through the shrinking unit, so the hot air will be passed through this packing material, so that the shrinkage will be taking place. So when it comes out, so it is tightly packed, and this can be used for easy counting the numbers and transportation handling will also be easy. So that is why they are using this string packaging. Then other labelings we have that glue on labels. So we have to apply glue. We can stick it self-adhesive labels or in mold labels. Okay, so these are all the design labels we are using or sleeve labels. So what are the cosmetic items or the other non-food items, even like the beverages, okay, soft drinks. So the labels are placed over the packaging materials by using the techniques sleeve labels. Okay, so that it can be printed in the flexible packaging material, then it can be added into the packaging materials. So to give the unique differences between the packaging materials, so there are many designs and different colors are used for differentiating the packaging material. And these type of labels, it can be pasted on the packaging material by using this round bottle. So here the bottle will be round bottle will be placed. So then the sticker will be printed separately and it can be stick onto that round bottle. Otherwise, you can use that side of the glass. So in the glass bottles or the sides which can be labeled. Okay, and another thing, flat glass we have. So these are all things. And apart from that, nowadays this RFID tags and barcoding system also coming in the market, which is used for tracking purpose and giving more information about the product. And without labeling, without paper or without plastic material, I want to print the information on the food items. Means nowadays this laser labeling techniques also coming in the market. So it is also a green technology. There is no packaging materials for the labeling purpose. Okay, directly like a computer, you can print it, you can sell the product. Okay, so here FSSI they are following this food labeling standards. Okay, in such a case they formed some standards for the labeling purpose. So whenever you buy the product, okay, in the market, or you have to whenever you want to sell the product, so that time you have to see either the label is following the FSSAI standards. Okay, otherwise they'll tell you it is a misbranded labels or misbranded product. So there will be a fine. So in such a case, you have to follow that FSSAI standards. Apart from that, we are having that halal certification, AGMA certification based certification also. As a industry people, as the technical persons, you have to guide them, or you have to you have to follow the government of India norms and regulations whenever you go for selling your product. Some case study here, you can see the honey bottles. Okay, that there are different shapes and the size of honey. Okay, it is used in the market. Okay, so each one, the selection of the packaging material or designing of the packaging material, everything should be depending on the life and how much investment and where you are exporting this product. Okay, and how much you can spend for packaging. So these are all the things which will be considered when you go for designing such a packaging material for your usages. So when we see the what are the factors which will affect? So here, if you see the length and time durations, okay, how long you are keeping that honey in the bottle, okay, and how many times frequently you are opening the bottles, okay, and apart from that, you can see the potential appeal to consumers, okay. So sometimes the materials which will be purchased based on the consumer attractions, and even if you give that honey delivery, if it is for each otherwise each time there will be a regular quantity will be delivered. Otherwise here you can see that honey comb structures along with the honey is there to make it is a pure honey like that. So the impression has to be given. So like that there are many techniques the people are using it, and mainly that moisture and what we can say, yeah, it has to be controlled, and the light it should not be kept, the bottle should not be kept in the lightning area for a longer period. So these are all the things you have to consider when we keep the quality of maintaining the quality of honey. And considering the labels, so label must carry all the details about the product. Okay, so it has the brand name, okay, manufacture date, expiry date, how much quantity, that calorific value, that sugar profile details. Okay, everything it has to be there. Apart from that, you have to give that FSSAI symbol, that green color. Okay, so that also which has been given. Okay, so it is matching with the existing commodity, then your product will be easily commercialized in the market. With that, I conclude that packaging is not a single subject. It is the combination of the engineering, chemical, physical, okay, and even if you see that microbial activities will be playing a major role in the packaging material also. So in such a case, whenever you select the packaging material, always you select the packaging material based on the product nature, what you are going to pack, and what is the cost you can affordable, and what will be the lifelong life period you want to extend the life of your product. So based on that, you can select the packaging materials. And there are many leading producers or manufacturers available in our country. So getting the packaging material also not very difficult nowadays. You can get it. If you have any questions, you can ask. So at the end, I want to tell you packaging also one of the major important player in the food marketing, or is that food supply chain. Okay, so importance for the packaging also. With this I conclude. So if there is any questions, you can unmute and ask, and I take this opportunity to thank the organizer for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a detailed presentation on packaging of various products and recent packaging technologies. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Yogesh Ponde, Livelihood Expert, Forest Department, Kolhapur District, Maharashtra. Sir has completed his PhD in Sustainable Development and Masters in Journalism and Communication Science. He has 8 years of experience in the field of livelihood and forest conservation. Recently, he is working on a project, Sustainable Livelihood for Local Village, especially for women through Forest Conservation Mission. Sir is also working on Van Amrut project, which is the NTFP processing project. Welcome you, sir.
इन 2018 मतलब 2018 में हमने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था कि लोकल पार्टिसिपेशन, मतलब वुमेन्स पार्टिसिपेशन लोकल विलेजेस का कितना इम्प्रूव होता है या कितना पार्टिसिपेशन होता है। तो 2018 में हमने नॉन टिम्बर फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस का एक जो स्कीम है फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट का, उसके तहत हमने एक लाइवलीहुड का एक्टिविटीज किया। तो जैसे कि वाइल्ड फ्रूट्स है, वाइल्ड जो है, इस पर प्रोसेसिंग करके हम जो लोकल विलेजेस है तो उनको एक इकोनॉमी दे देंगे और इसको एक इंडस्ट्री बनाएंगे। तो एक वैसे ही हमने एक ब्रांड डेवलप किया जिसका नाम वन अमृत करके है। वो अभी फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट के लिए ट्रेडमार्क ब्रांड बन के एस्टेब्लिश हुआ है। तो हमने 4 विलेजेस ले लिए थे 2018 में। कोल्हापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में आता है सभी, इन वेस्टर्न घाट और सह्याद्री माउंटेन रेंजेस में सभी विलेजेस हैं। तो एक वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट है यहाँ, मतलब एरिया है। इससे पहले मतलब वन अमृत प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च करने से पहले यहाँ की सिचुएशन ऐसी थी कि देयर इज नो लाइवलीहुड, ओनली क्रॉप राइस और रागी का ये आता था, और डिफॉरेस्टेशन बहुत होता था। फायर्स भी लगते थे, जैसे कि ग्रास के लिए कुछ वाइल्ड एनिमल आते हैं तो फायर किया जाता था। कुछ माइनिंग भी है वहाँ कोल्हापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में। तो ये सभी डिफिकल्टीज थी, उसको एक सॉल्यूशन चाहिए था। तो हमने ये एक सिस्टमेटिकली ये प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च किया है, और ओनली 4 विलेजेस में किया था। 2019 में हमने 12 विलेजेस ले ली। तो इसका पार्टिसिपेशन कैसे रहता है, लोगों को ये प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा रहता है, ये प्रोसेसिंग उनको स्किल डेवलप करता है या नहीं करता है, ऐसा एक सिचुएशन था। लेकिन 2019 में हमने काफ़ी तरह से अच्छा एक्सपेरिमेंट ये कर दिया, और 2020 और 2021 में जो कोविड का लॉकडाउन था, उसमें से थोड़ा-थोड़ा हमने इसका प्रोडक्शन किया। और 2022 मतलब इस साल जो लास्ट ईयर हमारा गया, उस हिसाब से हमने तकरीबन 10 विलेजेस सिलेक्ट किए कोल्हापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के, हमारे 7 तहसील आते हैं। तो उसके एक प्लान और स्ट्रेटेजी किया कि हमने इस विलेजेस को हम मेन प्रोसेसिंग सेंटर करके डेवलप करेंगे, और एक एवरी विलेजेस को हम 40 विलेजेस या 50 विलेजेस का नेटवर्क कनेक्ट करेंगे। तो इस हिसाब से हमने 10 विलेजेस को सिलेक्ट किया, उसको स्किल डेवलपमेंट किया, और उसके बाय प्रोडक्ट जो है वो उसके डेवलप किए हमने। जैसे कि यहाँ का शिवाजी यूनिवर्सिटी फूड टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट है, वहाँ के सभी पीएचडी रिसर्चर और सभी वर्किंग जो स्टाफ है, उनकी मदद से हमने 38 प्रोडक्ट अभी किए हैं, और इसका इतना मतलब ये पॉपुलर हो गया कि सभी विलेजेस आकर हमें पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं। ये प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड ये करती जाइए।
Sorry to interrupt. Can you please talk in English?
थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम रहेगा क्योंकि मैं मराठी मीडियम से हूँ, इंग्लिश हिंदी में ही बोलूँ।
Okay, sir. Okay, please proceed.
तो हिंदी में समझ में आता है ना सभी। ओके, तो ये 2022 में हमने लास्ट ईयर में हमने किया, और हम इस 10 विलेजेस को लेकर हम 400 विलेजेस का हम नेटवर्क बना रहे हैं। जैसे कि हमारे वेस्टर्न घाट में कोल्हापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के नज़दीक आता है सिंधु डिस्ट्रिक्ट, रत्नागिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट, सांगली का वेस्टर्न पार्ट आता है, और सतारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट भी आता है। तो हमने अभी प्लान किया है कि टोटल 2025 तक हम 1100 विलेजेस को हम नेटवर्क में लाएंगे, और इस प्रोजेक्ट को हम लोकल विलेजेस को पार्टिसिपेशन के थ्रू अच्छी तरह से इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करेंगे। तो एक अच्छी तरह से एक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो गया है, और जो वेस्टेज जो वाइल्ड फ्रूट जाते थे उसको हमने यूटिलाइज करके इसके बाय प्रोडक्ट बनाए हैं। जैसे कि सिरप है, जाम है, पिकल है, जेली है, चॉकलेट भी अभी बना रहे हैं। उसको पल्प इंडस्ट्री, बेवरेजेस इंडस्ट्री और कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स इंडस्ट्री को भी हम ये सप्लाई करेंगे। तो अभी 1100 विलेजेस का हम प्लान कर रहे हैं, तो इसको कनेक्ट करके ये सभी हम प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अच्छी तरह से करेंगे। उसके तहत हमने वन अमृत प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर हमने अभी कुछ और 4 प्रोजेक्ट हमने डेवलप किए हैं, जैसे कि इंडिजिनस राइस कंजर्वेशन है। अभी 82 वैरायटी हमने 3 साल से कॉन्ट्री की है, और उसका सीड बैंक बनाया है। इस साल जो अभी लास्ट मंथ में तकरीबन तक हमारा सीड बैंक तैयार हुआ है, और 82 वैरायटी है, और भी कुछ वैरायटी मिलने वाली है, उसको भी हम कॉन्जर्व करने वाले हैं। सेकंड प्रोजेक्ट है हमारा टसर सिल्क, वाइल्ड सिल्क, जो हम वन्य सिल्क, तो उसको भी हम इस विलेजेस में इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, और उसका एक्सपेरिमेंट करके और लोगों को, लोकल विलेजेस को हम उसको प्रोवाइड करेंगे टेक्नोलॉजी। चौथा प्रोजेक्ट है हमारा हनी बी कंजर्वेशन, जैसे कि लास्ट प्रेजेंटेशन में बताया था कि हनी प्रोडक्शन, उसका पैकेजिंग, तो भी ट्रेडिशनल बी कीपर से उनको हम ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं, और उसको ट्रेडिशनल मेथड पे डाइवर्ट करके ये इंडस्ट्री हम डेवलप कर रहे हैं। तो पांचवा प्रोजेक्ट है हमारा वन अमृत हर्बल करके, जैसे कि टर्मिनल है चेबुला, टर्मिनल है बेल्लारिका, या कुछ जो सिक्के का ही रहता है किसी अपन इसको हम डेवलप करके बाय प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं और लोकल विलेजेस को हम इसको पार्टिसिपेशन करके स्किल डेवलपमेंट करके इसका मार्केटिंग का भी हम लिंकअप कर रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड जाते हैं। स्लाइड उसका मार्केट लिंकेज भी हमने दिया है, बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्री भी ज्वाइन हो रही है इस मार्केट लिंकेज में, तो उनको भी एक अच्छा नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट मिल रहा है और लोगों की भी इकोनॉमी होती रही है। ये प्रेजेंटेशन होने के बाद एक 6 मिनट की हमारी फिल्म है, तो आप उसमें देखेंगे, वो इंग्लिश में है, तो आप उसको अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे कि हाउ इट इज वर्क विथ दिस प्रोजेक्ट एंड लोकल पार्टिसिपेशन। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। तो ये ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि लोकल पार्टिसिपेशन, एनटीपी, लाइवलीहुड, फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन, ये सभी का एक ज्वाइनिंग एक प्रोजेक्ट बना के हमने लोगों को इंट्रोड्यूस किया है और लोगों को एक नया मतलब वेस्टर्न घाट का या सह्याद्री माउंटेन रेंजेस में एक बड़ा एक्टिविटी यहाँ हम कर रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड लीजिए। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। ये सभी आप देख सकते हैं फोटो में, सभी लोकल विलेजेस का पार्टिसिपेशन है, उसको स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए मीटिंग हमारी हो रही है। नेक्स्ट। नेक्स्ट लीजिए सर। सभी आप देख सकते हैं कि बड़ी मतलब बड़ी संख्या में, बड़ी पॉपुलर काउंट में ये सभी पार्टिसिपेशन हो रहा है और एक मॉडल हम एस्टेब्लिश कर रहे हैं कि फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन करना हो तो ये इसी प्रोजेक्ट एनटीपी या इसके थ्रू ही आप कर सकते हैं लोकल पार्टिसिपेशन, क्योंकि वो जैसे कि फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन की कंसेप्ट है कि हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कर रहे हैं, कुछ वॉलंटियर रहते हैं, कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रहते हैं, डिपार्टमेंट्स है गवर्नमेंट के जो अपनी लेवल पर करते हैं, लेकिन वी आर इन हंड्रेड्स बट दे आर इन मिलियंस, तो उनको पार्टिसिपेशन साथ में लेकर ये अगर प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे या उसको कंजर्वेशन का काम करेंगे तो बहुत स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ जाएगी हमारी कंजर्वेशन की। तो यही कंसेप्ट था हमारा वन अमृत प्रोजेक्ट में और ये सक्सेस होता है और सक्सेस होने के बाद अभी हमें लोग इतने मोटिवेट हो रहे हैं और खुद ही अब सभी साइंटिफिक मेथड से कलेक्शन हो रहा है और अभी प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री भी हमने प्रपोज की है गवर्नमेंट को, तो ये 10 विलेजेस में प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री खड़ी की जा रही है और उसके थ्रू 400 विलेजेस को हम नेटवर्क में ला रहे हैं और एक फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन का एक अच्छा तरह से एक मॉडल हो रहा है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। जैसे कि ये प्रोडक्ट है वनामृत के ब्रांड किया है, एप्पल तो हमारे यहाँ वेस्टेज जाता है टोटली, तो उसको हमने सिरप, जैम और भी पिकल डेवलप कर रहे हैं इसका और बर्फी भी किया इसका, जामुन है या वाइल्ड मैंगोज है, कोकम है जैसे गार्सिनिया इंडिका बोले, उसको एक बाय प्रोडक्ट है से उसके बाय प्रोडक्ट किए हैं। रागी है, फिंगर मिलेट्स, उसके भी बाय प्रोडक्ट किए हैं और ये एक अच्छी तरह से इम्प्रूवमेंट होता आ रहा है। नेक्स्ट। नेक्स्ट लास्ट में आई न्यूज है वहाँ। टू 2022 का सभी सीजन है हमारा कि लोकल विलेजेस, उसका मीटिंग, उसका प्रोडक्शन, सभी हम इम्प्रूवमेंट कर रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट। मार्केट लिंकेज का प्लान भी किया है क्योंकि इससे सभी प्रोडक्शन बहुत लोग कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मार्केट लिंकेज इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन दिस प्रोजेक्ट। तो जैसे कि डी मार्ट है, उनसे बात चल रही है तो वो बोल रहे कि आप एक इंडस्ट्री या एक यूनिट खड़ा कीजिए तो हम आपको ऑर्डर देंगे। इससे सभी इंडस्ट्रीज को हम कनेक्ट करेंगे इस प्रोजेक्ट को। नेक्स्ट। जैसे कि थोड़ा न्यूज है कि हमने टारगेट किया था कि 1100 विलेजेस और 2 लाख फैमिलीज को हम इसको पार्टिसिपेशन करेंगे और उसके थ्रू ही हमारा ये इंडस्ट्री प्रोडक्ट का इंडस्ट्री हो जाएगा और ये फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन के लिए ये ह्यूमन रिसोर्स हमें पार्टिसिपेशन हो। और थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर द प्रेजेंटेशन, शॉर्ट प्रेजेंटेशन। आप फिल्म बना दिखा सकते हैं तो सब लोग अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे कि
Thank you, sir. We'll share the video now.
यस।
Western Ghats, that is, our beloved Sahyadri of Maharashtra. Like a treasure trove of biodiversity and natural resources, Western Ghats were formed about 150 million years ago. From then until today, the Western Ghats has stood firm and impenetrable through many stages of evolution. Today, there are many villages in the Western Ghats where, if you look at people's lives, you can imagine a primitive life. They used to cultivate for 4 months in torrential rain and spend the whole year on the harvested grains. Damage from wildlife is a different crisis. Apart from 4 months of monsoon farming, there is no employment throughout the year. Therefore, the future of the people here remained in the dark. But a ray of hope dawned in this darkness when the Kolhapur Forest Department took a very important step. In 2018, under the guidance of the then Deputy Conservator of Forest of Kolhapur, Dr. Prabhunath Shukla, and with the initiative of livelihood expert Dr. Yogesh Funde, a concept emerged to provide employment to the locals on the basis of natural resources around the villages in the forest areas. This means that the forest products will be the nectar for the locals. And from this concept, the Van Amrut project was born in 2018. Kolhapur Forest Department started planning. 8 villages in Kolhapur district were selected. Women's self-help groups in the villages became active. The women were brought together by the Joint Forest Management Committee and Kolhapur Forest Department and trained by experts. The machinery required for the project reached the villages, and women's life, which was limited to earthen stove and child, changed drastically. Various forest products like karvand, zamhul, jackfruit, mango, honey, tamalpatra, shikakai started to be collected. The confidence of these women began to grow slowly as they worked in smart attire. Naturally and scientifically processed products were commercially packaged. And karvand pickle, mango pickle, bhokar pickle, jackfruit jam, karvand pulp, forest honey, tamalpatra, shikakai, indigenous rice, nasni. Such 12 commercial products became available for sale in the market and also became popular among the consumers. In 2019, various women's self-help groups in 8 villages got good profits, and the One Amrut project transformed their lives.
आता वन अमृतमुळे प्रत्येक महिलेच्या हातीला रोजगार मिळाला आहे, जेणेकरून लय नसताना आपण 50% म्हणलं तरी हा पुरुषांच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये महिलांनी वाटा उचललेला आहे.
वन अमृतकडनं आम्हाला भरपूर फायदा झाला, तरी लागभर 50-60 हजार रुपये फायदा झाला आम्हाला.
लोणच्याचं काम आम्ही केलं, करवंद लोणच्याचं, जामचं.
आम्ही 10 किलोचं लोणचे केले. पहिल्या वर्षी 10,000 रुपये फायदा झाला. या गेल्या वर्षी 2019ला आम्ही 500 किलोचं केलं, 1 लाख रुपये आम्हाला फायदा भेटला.
मध पॅकिंग केलं, त्यातून 20,000 रुपये मिळाले.
आमचं आंबा लोणचं, भोपळ्याचं हे झाला.
आमचं वन अमृतची एक शॉपी आहे आणि ते प्रोडक्ट आमच्या एका शॉपीस मध्ये जाऊन बसलेत. तो जेवढा आनंद आहे तेवढा आनंद घरी बसून आम्हाला कधीही मिळाला नव्हता.
कुणी फ्रीज घेतला, कुणी मिक्सर घेतला, कुणी सोफा सेट घेतला. असं या महिलांनी आम्ही घरात सुधारणा केली.
आणि वन अमृतने पण आम्हाला सहकार्य भरपूर केले. इथून पुढे असं सहकार्य करावं आम्हाला.
वन अमृत, वन अमृत, वन अमृत, वन अमृत, वन अमृत, वन अमृत, वन अमृत.
Along with economic prosperity, the satisfaction on these innocent faces is a real acknowledgement of the One Amrut project. Based on this unprecedented success, the Forest Department intends to implement the One Amrut project in 1100 villages in 5 districts, namely Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara, Sindhudurg and Ratnagiri, coming under Kolhapur Forest Circle.
ते आपण रिसोर्स इन्व्हेंटरी म्हणून एक महत्त्वाचा कार्यक्रम सुरुवातीला घेतलं होतं. म्हणजे जंगल क्षेत्रात काय काय वनोपज आढळतो त्याची यादी आपण तयार केलेली आहे. स्थानिक महिला बचत गट मोठ्या प्रमाणात सहभाग करत आहेत. सध्या त्यांना एक मोठ्या प्रमाणात केंद्र म्हणजे एक वर्कशॉप तिकडे उभे करण्याचं खूप गरज आहे. ते पण इकडे आपण उभे करायचं, जेणेकरून सध्या त्यांना ते 20 ते 25 हजार 50 हजार पर्यंत प्रतिवर्ष त्यांना मिळत आहेत आर्थिक लाभ. ते अजून जास्त वाव आहे करण्यासाठी आम्ही इकडे आलेलो आहे आणि हे कार्यक्रम आपण पुढे पण घेऊन जायचे.
Soon, advanced but eco-friendly man processing centers will be set up in 16 selected villages in the Kolhapur Forest Circle. Inspired by Kolhapur, the One Amrut project has now reached the Nagpur Forest Circle. The Forest Department is planning to provide a strong commercial platform for the products of the One Amrut project. And soon, the One Amrut will surely gain national and international recognition.
वन अमृत.
थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू. तो एक्सपीरियंस शेयरिंग किया हमने. अभिजीत और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
May now invite Dr. Abhijit Arun Gatade, Consultant, Product Development, Project Management Unit of PMFME, Nitin Tanshagul, for concluding remarks, please.
First of all, I thank you all, the participants, for joining this webinar and making it in a grand success. I am thankful to all the speakers of the sessions and all the dignitaries who have invested their time, their valuable time in making this webinar in a successful way. I'll just quickly summarize the thing whatsoever we have went into this particular webinar. I am grateful to Dr. Shankar C. Dekas sir for being the session chair and delivering a special address and providing an insightful session regarding the scenario on non-tribal forest produce processing in India, its scope and opportunities. Also, he has covered the constraints in harvesting and possible means to overcome it also. I am also thankful to Dr. Sandeep Man sir for providing information about handling and storage of minor forest produce, which is required as the transportation of the produce from forest to the processing unit is a major constraint in the minor forest processing. Next, we had a session on processing and value of honey, in which it was got delivered by Dr. Sandeep Jangu sir. Thank you, sir, for this session. We are also thankful to Dr. Anuradha Srivastava ma'am for delivering a talk on processing and value addition of mushroom, where she covered all the aspects, including varieties of mushroom, their cultivation and harvesting practices, the traditional tamarind powder equipment for tamarind processing, and different value-added products from tamarind was got covered from Dr. Palani Muthu sir. Thank you, sir, for that session too. In the second half, we had with us Dr. Tonisha Dikshit ma'am, who has extensively elaborated about the PMFME scheme and also the DPR preparation, which might have enlightened the participants for starting their business under the scheme. Also, we had another important session on food safety requirements by Dr. Vidya Lakshmi ma'am and packaging aspects by Dr. Anand Kumar sir. I am sure that these two sessions might have the audience for complying the regulatory requirements. In the last session, we had experience sessions by Pragati Gokhale madam, who has provided an insight on application of whereas Dr. Yogesh Ponde sir has inspired the audience by sharing their extension activities conducted in the field of minor forest produce processing and for uplifting the utilization of minor forest produce. Once again, I thank you all the participants, all the dignitaries on behalf of Nitin Tanjavur and PMFME team. Thank you, and I declare the session is over.